how to remove parts of a date. Here's our dates. Here's the outcome. Here are our tools. Let me explain what we're going to do step by step. Brad Williams, Excel Prime. How to extract parts of a date. I've thrown a lot of date information at you, and some of it is probably a bit overwhelming, and you're looking at all of this stuff. Well, this particular example will kind of simplify things a little bit. These are all functions here. We have a year function, we have a month function, a day function, a workday function, and a work number function. I've touched on these. I'll just narrow it down. I think my examples were probably too broad. I'm going to try to explain this a little better. This year function, what does the year function do? It extracts the year from a given date. I pointed that out in 10.9, how to strip and manipulate year dates and add dates. You can add and subtract dates using the year function. You have the month function, which extracts the month day number from a given date. The weekday function returns the weekday number for a given date, and a WEEKNUM function returns the week number for a given date. I'll give you an example. Here we have a date. All we want to do is strip out the date. Use this function, day is a function, in C13. The function is built to just pull the date, in this case 27, from C13 as shown in D13. You want the month? Well, we just use the month function as shown in E13, month, and we go back to the date, which is in C13. And what does it show? It shows the second month. You want the year? We do the same thing. We use the year function, and we just point to the date. We did this earlier. What if we want them together? I said you can concatenate all this stuff. Well, we don't want to use the word concat. We want to use the date function because that's what the date function does. And the date will just put together whatever you want. If you want month year, you can just put month year. I just typed in F13, E13, and D13. And that is, it's backwards. F13 is the date, is the year function. E13 is the month function, and D13 is the day function. Why? Because that's the way date is structured. It's year, month, day. You can't change that. Just keep that in mind. If you type it in backwards, numbers are going to be all screwy. This is the date. Here are the arguments, and the expressions are, and that's it. Simple date manipulation. You can see this is just repetitive. I copied this down. What happens here? You have day equals C19, and you go over to C19, and we have 6/14/21 in quotes. What's going on here? Remember, date function only works with the date numbers. It has to be numbers. This is the text. How do we know? Because if we go to special feature in find and select, go to the ribbon, top right, in home, hit go to special, go to constants, just identify what we're looking for. We're just looking for text. And if you put in formulas, we're not looking for formulas. We're looking for a constant under text. Hit go. We know up above, that's text. We know get month from date is also text. 6/14/2021, the background's highlighted. That's why we're getting this value error. You can go in, Excel will throw this error message, say error in value. Well, is it? No. Help on this error? No. This is irritating. It's just one of those points of Excel that will drive you friggin' nuts. We can turn that off. I don't recommend it. I think you deal with it. You have that option. Just go to options and turn it off under formulas. That is a quick overview of getting months from date. How about get month name from date? That's our next topic. We want a month from the date. And here is really simple. Remember that text function? We were grabbing information and then we were customizing it. Well, you can do that with pretty much any information within Excel. You can go in and you can customize it any way you want. Here, the text function is going to look at C5. We just change it to month. If you want to change it to month, you can. If you want to change it to date, today, it just shows the 13th day. If you want year, hit YY, and it'll put 2022. Do this forever. And you can manipulate this any way you want. You can concatenate, you can add these things. I showed you how to do that, but just go month. You can put in 2 M's, the number. You can put in 3 M's for an abbreviated date, or you can put in 4 M's for the entire month. This is the way to go. Old school, before this text function was available, this is what we had to do. We had to use this choose month functions. And this information here, right here, is an array. It's hard-coded. And if you want to use this, we'll get into the choose function later. But really what it's saying is we want to look at month C5. Within C5, we want something there. We want to be able to find whatever is represented in C5. And that's what the choose function does. The choose, it's going to look at C5. It's going to pick out the month, display it here. Remember what the month function does. The month function is going to look for the month. It's going to say 10. We did that here. Remember? We just went month, C13, and it shows second month. Here, what we're doing, if you get rid of this choose function, we go month C5, and it's going to go 10. The way this works is when you have an array like this, it's going to be either true or false. It's going to be either zeros or ones. And what we're really looking at here, if we highlight this, if we hit index number, the month feature will identify number 10. Then choose will go down and it will find number 10 and it will show 10, which would be October. If it's 9, it will show 9. Be sure to check out all of our Excel courses. Excel data and text manipulation. We have an advanced beginners and intermediate course. Excel essentials. This is for individuals new to Excel. We have an advanced, excellent beginners, level 1 and level 2, and intermediate level course. Excel formulas, formulas only. We have a beginner, an advanced, and an intermediate level course. Click on any of the links. There's a short video that explains everything about the course. Check it out. It really won't show it'll either show 0 or 1, and we'll get into this later on. But the way this formula will work is January would be false, which would be 0, February would be false, March would be 0, April would be 0, 0, 0. And what we're looking for is something true. Number 10 would show 10 as being true, which would be 1, and then October will end up being the correct answer. I know, way off topic, but something I'm going to introduce to you down the road. This is in the double advanced training. How about we get year from date? We got month name from date. How about we get year from date? Let's go to the next section. Really the same thing. We're going to use this date, year, month function, and this is pretty much a copycat of the earlier session here. We're just going to use pretty much the same layout. We have a start date here in C5. We have a day. We want the day function. We have the month function. We have the year function. And then we have this date function. So all we're doing is stripping this information. We just change it around. We reformat it. And then we ask, is this true? Does date in G5, which all we did was capture the information we stripped, the same as the original date. Here is the date stripped down. Here's the date put back together. We want to make sure that C5 and G5 are the same. And all we do is equal C5 is equal to G5. Why do we do that? It's purely for training. I'm just showing you this to verify that the date function does what it does, and the day function does what it does, and the month function does what it does, and the year function does what it does. This is just a confirmation, and here's the formula text information. Brad Williams, XL Prime.